any of us in this room right now have a Huawei product in our hand or in our phones or anything?
Well, I have a Huawei phone. I left it in the other room, but no, I don't think so.
Why is Huawei considered a threat to national security here in the U.S.?
Well, it's a complicated issue. There's not a simple answer to it. There is a geopolitical overlay of the issues related to Huawei. So the U.S. is not safe in cyberspace. And so the U.S. looks at things from a risk perspective, whether it's national security or other risks. There may be a greater potential impact going forward. We believe that in the end, the United States is going to have the kinds of measures in cyberspace that are going to make us a whole lot more secure. When we get to that point, we think we're going to be allowed to compete on a level playing field. But in the meantime, our biggest concern is probably our Tier 3 wireless customers that serve rural America. We believe that our technologies and the services we provide them are essential to farmers and schools and citizens and companies in the rural parts of the United States.
Around the world, there's been a lot of focus on flaws that have been found in code or vulnerabilities in certain Huawei equipment in places like Italy and places like the UK. Is it possible to secure Huawei devices and networks that run off of them, or is that a pipe dream?
Well, it's impossible to eliminate all risk, whether it's 5G or enterprises or whatever. One of the advantages we have, and I do see it as an advantage, is that we are probably one of the most examined and evaluated companies in the world.
Andy Purdy, what's your take on the UK Defense Minister being fired related to a Huawei issue?
I don't know about the details of that. My understanding is that there was an allegation that he had leaked information about preliminary discussions within the UK government, which apparently he describes. What I see that as part of a larger picture, but Germany, other countries in Europe and other countries around the world that are basically saying, you have not given us, U.S., you have not given us evidence of cybersecurity wrongdoing by Huawei. And we believe that there are effective risk mitigation measures that can be used. And if we can use those, then we can get the benefits of the technology and perhaps more importantly.
One thing that's interesting about Huawei is you make pretty much every product that's out there. Is the core of 5G networks not a market that Huawei wants to play in?
Well, we'd like to play in all markets. But frankly, the distinction between core and non-core, as the standards develop, and as we move toward the full rollout of 5G, with the full rollout of 5G, there will be these viral slices in cyberspace that have particularly strong authentication requirements. So it's much less important, the issue of core versus non-core, than it is effective and transparent risk mitigation measures. And we'd love to discuss those.
Let me ask you about the ongoing civil and criminal cases that are happening against Huawei in the U.S. Your CFO, Meng Wanzhou, was arrested in Canada earlier this year. Is she going to appear before a U.S. judge?
Well, I think there's an appearance tomorrow.
Do you think then, on a hypothetical level, that this was a political move or a trade positioning move?
There is a context for everything. I am a believer in the criminal justice system of the United States and Canada. I have confidence that the proceedings will be based on facts and based on the law.
Let me ask you, especially in Europe, U.S. officials, both at this event in Prague and earlier in the year, have gone to many countries, visited their counterparts, and essentially told them not to buy equipment from Huawei. Has that had any effect on the company's business around the world?
I don't think so. And in fact, I've heard some comments by some of the officials of my company saying that the publicity has been a good thing. I'm not going to go there. Our allies, for most of them, want to talk about true risk mitigation measures, assurance and transparency, and that's what we'd like to do.
Andy Purdy, given your cybersecurity background, your DHS background, what do you think, on a general level, are some of the cybersecurity threats here in the U.S.?
Well, I think they're pretty much everywhere. I think one of the biggest problems is a lack of commitment and leadership around cybersecurity.
闲钱放哪里？工资、奖金、各种闲钱，通通都放久富悟空理财。久富12年稳健运营，引入履约保证险，承保赔付更放心。久富悟空理财，实力派。